go today to Psalm 116. And we'll look at verse 10 through verse 14. Psalm 116. And Psalm 68, verse 19. Psalms 107, verses 1 and 2. And Ecclesiastes 5, verse 4. Glad to see all of you that's with us today. Glad to have our vacationers back. I knew they'd make it back safely because my sister was with me. So I told Sister Lee, I said, well, if my sister's pastor's going with y'all, and you like all state, you're in good hands. And see my cousin Ray, he's here. See him in a while. And he's with us today. And Shirley. Who's that sitting next to you? I guess I'm glad to see her. All of you that's here today, I'm glad. We thank you that you took time out to come and join us. As old folks would say, we always love to have company. My grandson, whoever that is sitting next to him. Oh, go. But we want to talk on this Psalm 116, verse 10 through verse 14. When you get it, say amen. Amen. All right. Psalm 116, verse 10 through verse 14. Please go ahead.
I believe, therefore I have spoken. I was greatly afflicted. I said in my haste, all men are liars. What shall I render unto the Lord for all his benefits toward me? I will take the cup of salvation and call upon the name of the Lord. I will pay my vows unto the Lord now in the presence of all his people. Amen.
Thank you, Sister Petrie, for the reading of the word. I believe, therefore have I spoken. I was greatly afflicted. I said in my haste, all men are liars. Verse 12 says, what shall I render unto the Lord for all of his benefits toward me? What shall I render unto the Lord for all of his benefits toward me? Our subject for today, an attitude of gratitude. What shall I render to the Lord for all of his benefits toward me? The psalmist here in these verses, he starts off talking about how good God has been to him. Verse 1, and how much he loved the Lord. How God had brought him out of various difficult situations. How God had heard his prayer when he prayed.
All right.
But then he seemed to take his attention away from God and put it on man. And that's a dangerous thing.
Amen. About them.
Because he's praising God for all the things that God has brought him out of. And then he turns around and says, in verse 10, I believe, therefore have I spoken. I was greatly afflicted. That's when you got to really be careful about what you say and about what you think.
Yes.
When you're going through.
All right, help us.
See, that's a good time then to hold your peace as help and to control your thoughts.
Well,
Yes.
You know, because listen, you can easily forget, as the song said, that he's an awesome God. You can easily forget that if you take your eyes off of him and put it on man.
right.
Yes.
Right.
Psalmist said, I believe, and therefore have I spoken.
I was greatly
I was greatly
afflicted.
afflicted. It seemed like all the other times God had brought him out. But then, in this verse and the next one, he seemed to, like I said, take his eyes off of God and put it on man. And all of us have been there one time or another. You know, you're going through, and then, you know, you feel like you need the help of man, and then there's nobody to help. Nobody's concerned. Nobody is willing to turn aside from what they're doing to help you. Nobody remembers when you helped them. Nobody remembers when you did them a favor. You know, a lot of them might have said, I will never forget you. If there's ever a time I can do something for you, please let me know. But then when that time comes, it's always an excuse. It's always an, you know, I see I'm not the only one that's been there. And then in that instant, you forget about all the things that God has done for you. All the things that God has stood with you in, and even testified how, you know, if God hadn't moved on my behalf, you know, I wouldn't be here today. If God hadn't answered my prayer, God hadn't stood with me, you know. But then you take your eyes off of God and put it on man, and then all of a sudden You think about all of the disappointment, all the promises man has made. You know. And now that it's time to make good on it, you know, I've been there. See, and that's a dangerous spot to be in because, listen, man will let you down. See, sometimes unintentionally, but man will let you down. Man will forget, you know, what you've done for them. You've heard me say this before. My pastor used to tell me in his lifetime, he said, Brother Petrie, he said, I thank God for you. He said, man, I might forget some of the things that you stood with me in and how faithful you've been. I might forget some of that. But God don't forget. All right. And he said, just like you were faithful and stood by me, when you start pastoring, I said, oh, here we go again. Pastoring business. When you start pastoring, God gonna send some folks that's gonna be just as loyal to you as you was to me. All right. He said, and sometimes we don't intentionally forget, but we forget. Yeah. See? Come on. And so I think about that. I thought about that a lot of times down through the years, you know, when things looked like they were getting, you know, kind of shaky and looked like it wasn't gonna, thing wasn't gonna come through. God will always send somebody in the nick of time, you know. One thing about God, he doesn't forget. And God has not said not one thing that he won't make good on. See, we like I said, sometimes we'll let you down, but it's unintentional. But man has a limitation. But God doesn't have it. Time and limitation doesn't mean nothing to God. He boasts, I'm the Lord, is there anything too hard for me? Have I not said it, and shall I not do it? Have I spoken, and shall I not make it good? If God said it, he'll do it. Come on, yeah. See? And so David here, or the psalmist, seemed to momentarily forget that. This God has been so faithful to him. See? So he said, I believe, and therefore have I spoken.
I was greatly afflicted.
I was greatly afflicted.
I said in my haste.
And I said in my haste,
all men
are liars. They see people that made me promises and it don't look like none of it. Come on. Samuel had promised him how God was going to stand with him and all of that, but here David is. Here now he's on the run, and he's all the things that God said he was going to do don't seem like they're going to ever come to pass. But he forgets about all the things that God has done. Yes. You know, that's why I say sometimes here, you know, we talk about how good God is. But we always say that after salvation. See? But if God hadn't been good before salvation, you never would have made it to salvation. Come on. And that's what really stirs you up. When you think about, there was a time when I didn't serve him, wasn't thinking about serving, and didn't want to associate with nobody that did serve. But he kept me anyhow. He protected me anyhow. He brought me out anyhow. He opened doors and made ways for me anyhow. See, once we accept him as Lord and Savior, then we expect God to do those things. Come on, see, because we're his children then by adoption. See, and listen, you feel like if God adopted me, then he's going to provide for me. But what about all them times he provided for you? Listen, when you were outside of the family. See, when you were outside of his leading and outside of his sonship. But he watched over you then. Oh, God. See, sometimes I take a ride down through Fifth Ward. You know, a lot of it's changed, but I remember some of those places, you know, where I used to haunt.
All right.
See, not where haunt and hunt. See, and think about all of the guys that, listen, some of them went in those places and didn't come out alive. But here I am, living to tell about it. See, that was one place where we used to go gamble. You had to go about 4 from here to the church across the street, down a dark alley under some trees to get to the gambling shack in the back. See, no light or nothing. But still, we knew those gamblers, the game is back there. Didn't think about all the danger between the gambling shack and where you were leaving the street where the light was. All we were thinking about getting back there and how much money I'm going to win. Sometimes go back there and come out just as clean as a white push.
Yes.
But the point is, God brought you, took you in there with money and brought your broke self out.
Yes.
See, come on, see? And then there was some guys, listen, that went back there and didn't come out. Had won money, but they didn't make it out, see? But did that stop you from going back the next time? No. See? You might have went in with just a gun the first time, so I'll take a gun and a knife this time. See? But didn't realize, like I said, till sitting on that tent on the corner of Lyons and Lockwood on Saturday night, realized then that it was God that watched over me and brought me in and took me back out again. And I remember it touched my heart so I remember telling God, sitting there in the back of that tent, I said, Lord, if you've been that good to me, I've got to do better. But I didn't plan on doing better that night, nor the next day, nor the next week. Come on. I know I ain't the only one. I ain't the only one feeling that conviction. You know, see? But that didn't stop God from being good to me. See? So I'm saying to you today is that you got to be careful about who you put your trust in. And I'm not saying this to make you see, but I'm saying this to make you cautious. You know, not suspicious, but cautious. You know, come on. See, because sometimes we can do it. And then listen, if you've been good enough to do something for somebody, and then they act like they don't appreciate it, that's no reason for you to get down.
That's right.
See? Come on, see? Because listen, look at all the things that God did for us. And we didn't appreciate it. But did he get down? No, sir. When the time came, the Bible said he sent his son. Come and die for us, see? So I'm saying today that, listen, we have to be careful about that. So the psalmist said here, you know, I said in my haste,
all men alive.
All men alive. See, I said, that's a decision I come to rashly. You know, come on. See, but then he seemed to get a hold of himself. And say, listen, I better get this thing back where it needs to be. I need to get back to looking at the man I was talking about up above there. Oh, the one that stood with me. See, the one that I said I loved. I need to get back to talk to him. In verse 1 he said, I love the Lord.
Because he had
what? Heard my voice.
And my supplication.
And that's what I need to get back to.
Right.
See, and listen, he inclined his ear. See, that word means leaned over. Oh, glory to God. Even though he could hear upright, but he leaned over, showing concern about what I was saying. That's the one I need to get back to.
All right.
Come on. I need to get back to him. I got slightly distracted. But I'm back on the right track. Let me get back to him. See, now it's a good thing God is not like us.
All right.
Because once you turn your back on us, you know, then we ain't so quick to take you back. Come on. See, once you let us down, see, all that I've done for them.
Yes, sir.
I stuck with them when nobody else would. And that's the way they repay me. Come on. See, but listen, I was a fool once, but I ain't gonna be no fool no more. See, not only will we not want to trust you, but we'll talk somebody else into not trust you. But listen, David gets back to he comes to himself and he says, I need to get back to this fella. Now here he gets it back where it should have been all the time, between him and God. So he asks what? What shall I render
Unto the Lord.
Quit worrying about what somebody else is doing for God or to me. What shall I render unto the Lord for all of his benefits
Toward me.
toward me? See, that's where I need to get. Listen, because he's been so good to me. Listen, if I got any time to spend, I need to spend it trying to show him my appreciation. What shall I render? You know, we would be a whole lot better as believers if everybody took that person.
Right.
You know, see. But folk tend to govern what they do by what somebody else does.
Right.
I was talking to the individual a few years ago, and God had tremendously blessed him. And he told me, said, look at this letter I got from the Brotherhood. Brotherhood said it's coming up to the church anniversary, and we asking every member of the Brotherhood, I think it's about 20 some of them, to give 150. No, every member of the church, we're asking for $150. He said, man, we got about 600 members. Now you think about every member giving $150. That's a lot of money. I said, but look, he's not asking you to give on the basis of how many members. He's asking every member. See? Now, while you're counting, how many of the members you know that is as blessed as you are? See? What do you mean? I said, look, you just a few days ago, we were just talking about how God had brought you from a one-bedroom apartment to where you are now, you know, and all the things that God has blessed you with, and you know, and he had been to his bookkeeper, to his accountant, to get his taxes done, and he was complaining because the thing that went up from where they was, and the accountant told him, said, now listen, we can't operate where we used to, because you've grown, you way past that now. He said, now, the accountant told him, now, I hate to be rude or sound crude in what I'm saying, but you can only grow so tall without being seen. Go ahead, Pastor. See, in other words, listen, things we got by with the IRS, you know, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, that ain't gonna work now because your financial status is, you know, come on. See? I said, and then you're gonna turn around and have problems with giving your church $150. See? Now I was just saying, but look how many men. I said, now, okay, let's look at this. How many members you think feel like you? See, come on. See, you having problem whether or not you gonna do it. How many other members you think having the same problem you have? Come on. See, he said, Peter, you always coming up with something ain't nobody else thought of. I said, well, listen, I don't say nobody else ain't thought of, but you need to think about it. Come on. But listen, now, it's comical and as bad as that sounds, you'd be surprised of how often that goes on in church, including glad tidings. Come on, see, somebody set up and calculate, where now, if they asking such a one from such a most of them sit there on our phones or whatever and calculate it. See, but now you got to think of how many folk that's gonna do just like you ain't gonna give what they've been asked to give. Come on, see. So David said,
what shall I render unto the Lord?
What shall I render? He's making a personal thing. Come on, see. Some folks come and they sit around and the praises is going on. Okay? And they sit around like a knot on a log. Like, well, that's them. Let them go on and praise it. But I just don't feel good. I don't feel, I don't mind praising when I feel good, but I just go, and then now the Spirit hit me, I don't mind praising it. Listen, the Bible said this, let everything that have breath praise ye the Lord. See, praises is the thing that praises is the stair step that gets you to worship. Nobody that don't know how to praise him ain't gonna get to worship. Now the Bible said they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. But listen, without a praise, you ain't gonna get there. So all I got to know is that I'm breathing. And I don't care who, listen, he said, praise him in a hand clap. Maybe ain't nobody else praising him in a hand clap, but I got a hand. So I'm gonna praise him in a hand clap. See? Come on. And you don't see much praising in a dance no more. Because we don't want to, stop perspiring and all of that. So we don't. That's something that we feel. But that's a command. Praise it in a hand. Praise it in a dance. See, come on. See, when you praise it in a dance, that shows that you got victory.
Amen.
Come on. See, but no, I don't. No. I've been having trouble out this over here. I just down there and get the praise in and all of that. And come on, you might be surprised if you get up and praise it. That problem you got, that hip might be healed. Come on, see, listen, we strayed, see, but listen, when you realize how good he's been, there's a certain attitude that ought to take over. Come on, see? And listen, I'm gonna show you by my attitude, oh God, how good I know he's been to me. And my gratitude is, listen, I don't care what it takes, I'm gonna give him all I got. It says an attitude is an action that shows your feelings or your opinion about something. Your attitude. See? So you can tell by my attitude, listen, that I love it. Come on here.
All right.
See? You can tell by my attitude that, listen, I wish if I had 10,000 tongues, it wouldn't be sufficient. But I ain't got but one, but I'm going to work this way. And then he gets all stirred up and says, oh, magnify the Lord with me. Come on, see? He has been good to me. But listen, oh, magnify the Lord with somebody else he's been good to. And let us exalt his name together. So he's been good to all of us. Sometimes we get on folk nerves with that. But listen, if folk get on your nerves, that's something to praise him for. Because it means you're alive. Come on here. Get on my nerves. See, listen, 1 Thessalonians 5:18 says in everything, give thanks. See, because listen, they could be making noise and I could not even hear them. See, but the very fact that I can hear them, the very fact that they're getting on my nerves is enough to praise and say that I'm alive. Oh, come on here. So you can say what you want, but I'm just expressing my attitude. See? Come on, see? And then attitude goes to gratitude. See? So somehow both of them kind of coincide with one another. Attitude and gratitude. See, come on, see. I got the right attitude, so I'm gonna show you, and then when I get to showing you, take the right attitude, you're gonna see my gratitude. Because listen, my thanksgiving gonna be what it ought to be. Look at Psalm 68. What does it say? Psalm 68.
Blessed be the Lord.
Blessed be the Lord.
Who daily loadeth us with benefits.
No, he did.
Who daily loadeth us with benefits. Even
Blessed
God
be
of
the
our
Lord.
salvation.
Who what?
Who daily loadeth over and over again us with benefits.
So don't let me bless it by myself. Because he didn't just load me up.
All right. Well.
There's always room for praise. Even in your affliction, there's room for praise. Come on, see? Even in your affliction, instead of grumbling and complaining, learn how to praise it. Do all things without what? Murmuring and complaining. See? That you may be harmless and be the children of God without rebuke. Nobody loves a complainer. Every time, how you doing? I'm child. My sinuses is stopped up, and I can't hardly breathe, and I got this ringing in my ear, that's driving me crazy, and I got it looked like this old knee, just Lord. I'll be glad when this pollen and stuff gets up, because I tell you, it just got me so, and I got this sinus infection and it's draining back and make me coughing and all. Just nobody want to hear all of that. Well, how you doing? I'm blessed. Thank the Lord. See? Come on. See? Because listen, dead folk don't have no sinus problems. Dead folk don't have no drain backs. Come on, see? Dead folk ain't got no ringing in the ear. So how you doing? I'm blessed. Why? Because I'm alive. And see, that's when folk wonder about you and think it's your accent, because every time you ask them how they feel, they say I'm blessed. How can they be blessed and then because they're alive? See, when things are going bad, then you got to pick out all the good things. And there are some good things. Glory to God. Not talk about all of the bad things that's going wrong with you. Find some good things.
Well,
Oh, see, because he's God of both of them. David said, well, I was greatly afflicted. See? And I messed around there and let that affliction got the best of me.
All right.
And so it made me make statements that I need to change. I need to repent for. See, so now that I've got myself back straight, let me get back to what's calmly for me. Let me get back to what God expects out of me. See, come on. He's been so good to me. Instead of complaining, I need to find out what can I do to bless him. To show him my gratitude. See? Because I said up above that I love him.
Yes, I did.
See? So if I love him, I need to find a way to express that. So
what shall I render?
What shall I render to the Lord?
For all his benefits toward me? I will take the cup of salvation.
I will take the cup. I will take the cup of salvation. Whatever's in it.
All right.
I'm going to take the cup. If he presented to me, I'm going to take it. That's what Jesus did. The Bible says he took the cup. And he told the disciples to take the cup. And he said, listen, drink it what? All. Drain it all. And the Bible said that he drained the cup. See? Come on. See? I will take the cup of salvation that goes along with my salvation, that goes along with my deliverance. Whatever it is in the cup. Listen, if he offered to me, if he presented to me, I'm going to take it. I will take the cup of salvation. Read.
And call upon the name of the Lord.
And call upon the name of that same God I talked about up above there. See? What is it? What he said up above there? He said in verse 4, then I called, and said, verse 3 said, the sorrows of death compassed me,
and the pains of hell got hold upon me. I found trouble and sorrow.
Then I called upon the name. Oh, glory to God. See, then I called upon the name of the Lord. See, come on, see. Oh Lord, I beseech thee.
Deliver my soul.
Deliver my soul. See, this thing that got a hold of it, but I know that you brought me out before. There's not a one of us that hadn't been through something that God had brought you out of. See? And listen, if he brought you out once, he can do it again. See? If you've been in this thing any time, there was some time when it looked like, listen, Lord, it don't look like there's no way out of this thing. This thing is wearing me down. But you stayed with him. And he brought you out. Go, guys. See, you look at it from a natural standpoint, it just don't look like there's no way out of this thing. Oh, glory to God. See, but listen, that's when you got to put your spiritual bifocals on. Come on, see, you got to change glasses there. Oh, bless his name. See, because the one you're wearing now, you ain't seeing for enough. You got to do like the heads I done. Elijah done with your heads out. Lord, open his eyes. And let him see what I see. You got to see, most time when we going through, we don't want to get spiritual.
Right.
You know. Now we don't mind getting spiritual when that song is a God is an awesome God. So y'all know. God is an awesome God. God is an awesome God. Come on. See, listen. My God is an awesome God. See, there you go. See, God needs somebody in there listen or reach down past whatever it is and find a praise that's somewhere.
Yes, indeed.
Anybody can. It's like a good dancer. A good dancer don't need no music. Oh yeah. A good dancer, he used to be an old boy. You know, he could dance and no music whatsoever. But he'd have a song or something going on in his mind or something. He would keep in step to that. Man, that boy be like all them, you know, come on. And you look at him and say, that old boy crazy. But no, he was listening to something. Come on, yeah. See, listen, when there ain't no music and you can still praise him in a dance. Or praise him in a hand clap. Listen, see, so let something keep beat with you. But most of us, we don't want to seem strange. Come on. That was, what's Samuel's mother name? Y'all Bible scholars. Hannah. I said, old Hannah was talking to God, and the priest, all he saw was a lip moving. Come on. And he thought, well, she been drinking. Hannah and God had something going there. She said, listen, I'm tired of being looked upon as not being barren, as not being productive. So I need to get this thing. See, most of us, we don't think we're doing no good at, oh, Lord, I need you right now, Jesus. Whoa.
All right,
But how many know in such situations, you can't call it loud. But God can read a thought. Oh, glory to God. See, a thought in the ears of God sounds just as loud as a word. Come on, see? And God hears. So Hannah she was praying. Lord, behold your handmaid. See, and I want you to grant me. And listen, if you give me a son, I tell you, I will give him back to you. All the days of his life. What do you know? Here come old Sam. When she weaned him, she took him right on. Come on, she kept her word. Made a vow and she kept it. Now that had to be hard. Her only child. See? And it wasn't, and listen, she took her so long waiting on him, and then there ain't no guarantee she's gonna have no more. See? But she took it.
yes.
And presented it and left him there with because she vowed. Come on. I'm getting ahead of myself here.
I will take the cup of salvation and call upon the name of the Lord.
And call upon the name of the Lord.
I will pay
my
vows unto the Lord. Now in the presence of all his people.
I vowed it and I'm going to pay it. See, Hannah vowed, if you give me a man child, I'll give him back to you. All the days of his life, I'll give him back to you. And she took him and left him there.
All right.
We don't think much about vows no more. That's why I mentioned last Sunday, about, those of us that have been asked to give $100 and you might not have it. See, so since we didn't have it last Sunday, most of us just write it off. And I don't mean write it off as in deductible. I mean write it off as in I didn't have it, so that's it. Come on. But listen, but look what it says in Ecclesiastes 5.
When thou vowest
When thou
a vow
vowest,
unto God, defer not to pay it, for he had no pleasure in food.
Now, you say, well, I didn't vow a vow to God.
Right.
Well, you didn't vow not to pay it. See? So if you didn't vow not to pay it, then that means, come on. See? Say, well, ask every member for $100. Say, well, I ain't gonna give it. Then that lets you off the hook. But if you didn't say nothing, my grandmother used to say, you know, when you be say, well, Mama, I didn't do nothing. I wasn't. They did that. I didn't do. So what did you do to stop it?
Yeah.
I go, no, I didn't do nothing. Say, well, silence gives consent. Come on, see. If you didn't try to do nothing to stop it, then you must have been in accord with it. See? So that's the way God look at it. If you didn't get up and say, no, I ain't gonna give it, then God he takes that as
Consent.
I said, well, what that's got to do with anything? That will hinder your prayer.
Yeah.
See, when you call on God for something, listen, and your prayer is rolling on the way to God, and all of a sudden it run up on your vow. Come on, see, Lord, I'm waiting on, but it can't get by because your vow is in the way. See? You got to get that out of the way where your prayer can roll on through.
Look at that.
Come on, see? But as of now, it was doing good. But it's just run up on something. See? That you forgot to get out of the way. And you waiting on God, because you say, Lord, you promised if I call, you would answer. Well, my answer is that, but it's being held up. Because what? That vow. Come on. See? So some folks, they'll be at one church, and then they'll write a check for something. And then they'll move their membership somewhere else, and they leave that check. Yeah. Well, the check might be where you left it. But the point is that you wrote it down. And just because you go and put your membership somewhere else doesn't relieve you of your obligation.
All right.
And you wonder why God is not doing what he said he was going to do. Why? Because you left something behind that's hindering. You say, oh, come on, Pastor. Now, God is everywhere, right? So now, if God is everywhere, and you make a vow here, and then go move your membership to cross town, listen, that's not gonna make no difference to God, because the vow is still there. God still sees it.
Yes.
You can't say, well, yeah, I know I said I was gonna do that, but I ain't a member of that no more. Oh, it's getting kind of quiet in here now. See? Come on. See? Write a check and then don't honor it, and then it go on and on and on, and pretty soon you just forget about that. Now, you had a check here for, we'll just say $10, and you didn't honor it. See? And then you turn around, and then because you for some reason you couldn't honor the check. See? Now, then you turn around and good fortune catch up with you, so you just, instead of making this good, you turn around, you jump over that and start giving and all that. But the point is, see, you jumped over it. But God didn't. Whoever got that gun, put it up. See? So the psalmist said what? I will what? I will
pay my vows.
Pay my vows
to the Lord now.
To the Lord now in the midst of.
In the presence of all his people.
Because Ecclesiastes said,
when thou vowest a vow,
defer not to pay it.
For he hath no pleasure in fools.
See?
Pay that which thou hast vowed.
See? And only a fool will make a vow and then not pay it because they feel like, listen, I couldn't do that then, so I'm going on past that now. How many know that God's people ought to be trusted? Amen. Now, the Bible said this. The Bible said this. That if you are wise, then that's why you accepted God, because you are what? Wise. Is that what scripture? Now, if you're wise enough to accept God as your Savior, then that means you ain't no fool. You can't be wise and foolish all at the same time.
All right.
Come on, see, the beginning of wisdom is the fear of God. See? So if you accepted God, that means that, listen, you wise. So now, he said, God don't have no pleasure in what? In food. So now, if you make a vow and don't pay it, then you're not, nobody else is calling you a fool, you calling yourself one.
Oh, look at that.
See? And it don't make no difference how much good I do after then. The point is that you got a vow that you made that you didn't keep.
All right. My God.
Now here we go with my favorite scripture. The servant is not greater than his Lord, but it's enough that the servant be as his Lord. How many promises that God made to us and didn't keep? So if I'm going to be as my Lord, then I got to try to make sure that I keep. And listen, if I can't keep a promise, then I need to make good that let the fellow know. Look, I know I promised you I was going to do it. And man gets hindrances.
Yeah.
But now listen. So if I can't do what I'm supposed to do now, then the honorable thing to do is to come and say, well, listen, I'm not going to be able to do this or that or the other like I promised. But as soon as I can, I will. See? Now, God don't have to do that because it ain't nothing in him to God. Come on. See? Again, whoever got that going, put it up. Come on. I will take the cup of salvation and call upon the name of the Lord. I will pay my vows unto the Lord now in the midst,
in the presence
of all his people. See? So David says that's going to be part of my rendering.
All right.
Now, let's look at Psalms 107, verse 1 and 2. I'm coming to a close here.
Oh, give thanks unto the Lord.
Oh, give thanks unto the Lord.
For he is good.
For he is good.
For his mercy endureth
For his
forever.
mercy endureth forever.
Let the redeemed of the Lord say
of the Lord
so. Say so. Whom he had redeemed from the hand of the enemy.
Now here we go back to our scripture 1:16. He say what? I love the Lord because he what? He has heard my voice and my supplications. Because he has what?
Inclined his ear unto me. Therefore will I call upon him as long as I live.
All right, read.
The sorrows of death compassed me, and the pains of hell got hold upon me. I found trouble and sorrow.
All right.
Then called I upon the name of the Lord. O Lord, I beseech thee, deliver me. Deliver my soul.
All right.
Gracious is the Lord.
Gracious is the
and
Lord.
Righteous. Yea, O God is merciful. Our God is merciful. The Lord preserveth the simple. I was brought low, and he helped me.
Sure.
My God.
So what does Psalm 107 and verse 1 and 2 say again?
Oh, give thanks unto the Lord.
Give thanks unto the Lord.
For he is good.
For he is good.
His mercy endures
forever.
Let the redeemed of the Lord say so.
Let the redeemed of the Lord
say so.
Say so. What you gonna say? The Lord is
good.
And his mercy endures forever. See, can't nobody say that but somebody that knows. So he said what? Let the redeemed. I can't tell you he'll bring you out if he hasn't brought you out. Come on, see, I can't tell you he'll make the way if he hadn't made the way. I might say I believe he'll make the way, but he said what? Let him say so as in knowing what he'll do. Let the redeemed of the Lord, let them say so. Whom he has redeemed from the hand of the enemy. That's why I can say he's good, because he delivered me. I called upon him and he delivered me. Oh, glory to God. See, that's why I can say that see, you can't redeem a fella, you can't redeem nothing if it hadn't been purchased or hadn't had a claim laid on it. Come on, see. So he said, he redeemed me from the power of the enemy. Because the enemy had laid hold on me. But he redeemed me. See? So now, and he said, let the redeemed, let the fellow that got redeemed. That's what I want to testify. See? Like in a court of law. See, when you get the witness stand, all they want to know is that they want to know if you're a witness. They want to know what can you say. You know, because they told me no. Strike that from the record. We ain't talking about what they told me. See, come on. No, that's hearsay stuff there. We ain't talking. See, listen, it don't make no difference how many times you hear somebody else testify until you get your testimony. See, I don't care how happy you get because somebody else testified. It's when you got a testimony. That's when you can really praise him, when you get a testimony. It's good to praise him with somebody else when they got a testimony, but wait till I get my own. Oh yeah, you can talk about how good he is, but wait till I be able to talk about how good he is. You can talk about how he made the way, but wait till he made the way for me. I believe he's a healer. But wait until I get to know he's a healer. See, there's a difference between believing and knowing. See, if you believe a thing, there's a possibility that somebody can shake that. But if you know something, oh, that's like the blind man. He didn't know a whole lot as far as, but he said, one thing I know. And I'm going to stand on that. You can interrogate me and ask me all them kind of questions. You might know all about the law and all that, but you don't know this. Oh, you scribes and Pharisees, y'all might be able to interpret the law. You might know scripture and all that, but you don't know this. Come on. See. You don't know how it feels to be blind. So now you go on and with all your revelations and all of the things that you know, and then I ain't trying to take that away from you. But don't try to take this away from me. See, all that you know, and listen, I don't know but one thing, and you're trying to take that away from me. Oh, glory to God. But listen, you're not going to take that away from me because I know that. So when somebody said he's a sight giver, I can attest to that. Come on, see. If you ain't never been blind, almost blind, you can't really, you can appreciate seeing, but you don't know how it feels to be to where you can't hardly see your hand before your face. I told the Lord one time, I used to hear my brother testifying about through. I said, Lord, Brother Rodney, he can testify you as a healer. I believe you as you're healed, but he's testifying the fact that you are healed. And I didn't come right out and say it, but I sure love to have that kind of stuff. All right. Well, it took a few years. And listen, don't think God didn't remind me of that when I lay in the hospital with this lady. All right. Well, you want to know how Brother Rodney felt? Now you know. Well, you want to know how the blind man felt? Now you know. Come to church and couldn't see nobody past the first pew. And thank God that it had a balance where I could find my way to the pulpit. All right. See, about 65% blind. Come on. Be riding, my sugar be driving me, and I'm just looking in the distance. You see nothing? The car right next to me, see it, but all off the freeway and all that. But here I am. So now when somebody get up and say, he gives sight to the blind. Oh, glory to God. All right. See, I can testify to that now. Because I know. So now ain't nobody gonna come and try to tell me that he won't give sight to the blind. That he won't restore your sight. Because I know he'll do it. I've had 2 surgeries on this high, and the sight now is not back to where it need to be, but every time I open my eyes, I say, well, Lord, I'm just waiting for the day. Amen. When I look and see, but it's got now to where I can't tell that the sight is not as good as it should be, because things look level. All right. But I had to learn. But one of these days, and sometimes it be so real, I can close this eye here. Now I can see Sister Rosemary and all that, but they're not in Sister Gang, but they're not clear. But one of these days, I'm gonna close this eye, and they gonna be just as clear as they are in this eye. All right. Yeah. But until then, that's right. Oh, glory to God. See, until then, I'm gonna keep right on blessing. All right. on. And then sometime, that I asked the doctor, not the last time I was there, but the time before, I said, what? She told me about she called some kind of name. It's still swollen, and that's still too close to that. I don't know what she said, but, you know, I just asked her. But it don't make no difference what she said. She gave me the medical term.
Yes.
But I'm waiting on the doctor that don't go by the medical term. And whatever that was, she said I can't pronounce that. But I know a name I can't pronounce. Whoa! Glory to God. So I'm saying to you today in my closing is this. God has been too good to you and to me for us to not have an attitude of gratitude. And quit complaining so much. A lot of times when folks ask you how you doing, or you get up to testify, folks don't need to know about all your ailments. Get up and testify about how good he is. Come on. If you got 10 fingers, 8 fingers and 2 thumbs, and 8 fingers and 1 thumb is hurt, testify about the good. All right. Come on, see? If you mention them, then they say, well, my other 8 fingers and my 1 thumb is hurt, but thank God I got 1. Look here. Come on. I can move this. See, that's the thing. These ears hurt and I can't bend them, and that man I can't bend. Nobody don't want to hear all of that. Tell about the one that's still working. See, shake that at the devil. Oh, you might not can shake this. So this might be hurting, but shake this one at. Let him know this. All the rest of them might be, but I got more. I got more. Lord, you said lift up hope, but listen, I can lift this up and praise you with this. Come on, man. You got to learn how to bless him with what you have. Learn how to give him praise for what you do have. That's what put folk on a one. When you're blessing him and listening, and you know good, there's no good and well, you ain't feeling your best, but you're blessing him anyhow. Come on, see. That's the right attitude to have. All right. I'm hanging it up. The psalmist said, what shall I render unto the Lord for all of his benefits toward me? Psalm 68 says he loads you up with benefits every day. Thank God, I didn't even know that scripture was in the Bible. He loads you up. Which benefits every day. How you hear with me? Father, thank you for this word that you sent today to help us, God. You left us on record that we could read and be encouraged and be enlightened, and have something that we can not only be encouraged about ourselves, but be able to help somebody else. I Pray your choice blessings upon everyone today that's under the sound of my voice. God bless them according to your word and according to your will. You've been so good to us that it's not words to express just how good you've been. But every chance we get, let us try to show you in our small, minute way how much we appreciate what you've done. To not dwell on what you haven't done, but dwell on what you have done. And realize even in that, God, that was more than what we deserve. Bless these that heard this word on today. Let it bless us and change our attitudes toward things in general. Change our attitude toward you and the way that you do things. And change our attitude that we take when we're going through. Even in our afflictions, we can find the courage and the strength to bless you for how good you've been to us. Thank you again for this service and to everyone, God, that you blessed and brought safely here. In Jesus' name, thank you for it.